Hey, is this recording?
I'd like to welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank all of you for being here. What a special night this is, getting to celebrate some of the greatest athletes that ever attended school at Fairview High School. And some of you that attended school at the Rec Center, but it is Fairview High School still. And I'm really excited about this. Coach Butler, Principal Butler, and I had talked about having a Hall of Fame. A lot of schools have a Hall of Fame, and it's been in the works for years. And it took him, who is a Fairview graduate and loves this city and this school, becoming the principal. And it took Ricky Jones, who's been here his entire life, and the love of Fairview to get this thing rolling. So a big hand for Ricky Jones and everybody. Some of the people being inducted tonight, and I guess the reason they asked me to MC is that I have someone that coached me that's on the team. I've had friends I graduated with that are being inducted, heroes that I grew up idolizing as a kid, and even people that I taught in middle school. So I think I covered the entire gamut of the people here, and I'm really excited for all of you. It's going to be something for you to be immortalized as a great athlete at Fairview High School and set the way for future generations to see. Because after all of us are gone, people will know who you are because you're going to be enshrined in the Sports Hall of Fame at Fairview High School. And I think that's a great honor. So a big hand for all our inductees. So as we go through this on your program, I'm going to go through the list and I'm going to call off their accolades. And as I finish, you will come up and receive a plaque honoring you into the Hall of Fame in the initial class for Fairview High School. So we'll go ahead and begin. The first person we would like to honor is Marvin Robinson. He has been inducted as a basketball coach for Fairview High School. He was a veteran of World War II and was at Pearl Harbor the morning of the attack. He won over 200 games as a girls basketball coach at Fairview High School. I remember Mr. Robinson. He was always that older, real serious gentleman, but was a great basketball coach. He won 2 district championships, one in '67 and one in '68. Wanda Bledsoe had a couple of quotes. Something that he used to say. One of his sayings was that if we don't make it to the top, we're sure going to dust the clouds and hit some stars on the way. That was one of the big things he said. He liked to have, when she was coaching with him, he told her he would rather have girls with good character, and then he could teach them how to play basketball. So it was very important. One of his policies, this will just show you how long ago this was, Mr. Robinson was a coach, he would tell the girls this was a policy. Too much dating is discouraged, especially during the week. This distracts from schoolwork and teamwork. It takes a rare girl indeed to keep up with a boy, their studies, and be a top performer on my basketball team. You cannot fly with the owls at night and then keep up with the eagles in the daytime. So that is some great quotes. So our first inductee, big hand for Marvin Robinson.
Wanda,
you need to have to come and accept his award. Wanda played for Mr. Robinson and coached with Mr. Robinson. Is that correct, Wanda? Yes. Thank you. Another hand for Mr. Robinson. Sticking with that, the next honoree we would like to honor is Wilbur Kelly for a boys basketball coach. And most everyone here, if you live in Fairview, you know who Wilbur Kelly was. Varsity boys head coach from 58, 59, 67, 68, 84, 85, 88 to 89, 98 to 91 for boys head coach. He was a girls basketball head coach, 58, 59, 63 to 64. During his time he was coaching basketball, Mr. Kelly coached a lot. He had 266 wins. 494 total games, 2 district championships, a 54% winning percentage, and if you knew anything back then, that was very good because Fairview didn't win a lot of games before Mr. Kelly had taken over. He had 14 and a half seasons as a boys coach and he also had 6 seasons as a girls coach. So between that, that's over 20 years that he coached basketball at Fairview High School. Ricky Jones said that Mr. Kelly had a huge impact in his life from elementary school all the way through his adult life. He was always positive and always tell you that you were a good man. Mr. Kelly told me that, and many times, and even when I was playing basketball for him, when I had him in class, he was one of my teachers. He was a very positive person. If he told you you were a good man, raise your hand right now. All right, so a lot of good men in this crowd, but we all owe the fact that we know that to Judge Kelly, and I'm very proud to honor him and to recognize him now as the next inductee into the Fairview Hall of Fame. So Blake, his son Blake is here to accept him.
Hey, Chris, if they want to say something.
Blake, would you like to say anything about Mr. Kelly, anything before? As you come up, you have a chance to speak, but you can decline as well, so it's up to you. We want to make sure everybody has a good. Would you like to say a few words?
I have a story about the next inductee, Eugene Pack, who played for my father the first 2 years that my father came here to Fairview to coach. And so this is the inaugural event of the Hall of Fame honorees. And this story goes back really to the whole reason why the Kellys are even here in Fairview, Tennessee. My father started coaching at College Grove, and he was there 1 year. He said that they had an old gym that he had to feed the stove with wood every morning to get it heated up, and feed the stove with wood every night. They had a game to heat up the gym, and it was in Williamson County. But there was a new school that had been built over in the west end of the county called West High School, and they were the Yellow Jackets. And they had a principal that lived there on Old Cox Pike named W.W. Wallace. Mr. Wallace called up my dad and said, Mr. Kelly, Wilbur Kelly, we'd like for you to come down here and visit with us and possibly come to Fairview and coach basketball. And so my dad had a little interest in it, and he came and visited Fairview, and he loved it. And he found out, that they had a nice new gym with a boiler system, that he didn't have to feed the wood into the stove. And he told me that was the reason why he came to Fairview, because of the stove. But I sitting around watching basketball with my dad, I come to know that there was another very big reason why the Kellys came to Fairview, and why my dad came to Fairview. And that was probably because of Eugene Pack. He was, as many would describe, I've heard Daniel Jones, who was probably a little boy watching him play, or Daniel Lampley, who was probably a little boy watching him play, said that he was a man amongst boys, that he was the standout player on the court every time he took the court. And so I looked at the movie Hoosiers, and I remember Gene Hackman coming into the little Indiana town there and driving around, and he hears about this one little star, or one big star that has to play there for the Marion basketball team. And I imagined that was what it was like when my dad came to Fairview, because he said before school started, the summer before school started, he was driving around Fairview, and he was looking for Eugene Pack. And he said he happened upon a couple of boys named Piggy Langford and Dwight Langford. They ended up playing for him too. They were younger then, and they had the fishing poles, and they were headed to the fishing hole. And my dad asked him, "Where can I find Eugene Pack?" And so they described where Eugene Pack lived, and my dad got to visit with him. And then over the years, I guess my dad lost contact with Mr. Pack, but he would beg my brother or my mother or somebody to take him up to Eugene Pack once he found out that he lived over near Greenbrier, Ridgetop area, or Coopertown area, something like that. And he started making visits in the older years, and I'm very thankful that he got to rekindle the friendship and the love that he had for Mr. Eugene Pack, who is our next inductee.
And for Judge Wilbur Kelly. Our next inductee, which Blake has already said, is going to be inducted for boys basketball. He was in 1956 and 57 all-district, 57, 58 all-county, all-district, and all-region. 58, 59, he was third team all-mid-state, all-county, all-district, all-region. And in 1960, 59, and 60, second team all-state, mid-state, all-county, all-district, and all-region. He also is, as far as we know, still the career scoring leader in basketball at Fairview High School from that long ago, which there was no three-point line back then. But he had 1,591 points as a Yellow Jacket basketball player. I've been told that Eugene, as a man, towered over the boys. And as the more I hear about Eugene, I'm thinking he was like 7'9". I don't know exactly. But I can't help but think that I would be going, Eugene, congratulations. And that to me is what this is about. Because the stories are going to grow on down the line. And Eugene Pack is considered the best basketball player that ever played at Fairview High School. So at that moment, I'd like to welcome and welcome up whoever's here from Mr. Pack's family to accept his all. Linda Pack is here, Eugene's wife of 56 years. That is amazing.
He loved Fairview. We always, grew up listening to stories, and I don't know the Lampley family, or, there's a lot of familiar names that I still hear, and Coach Kelly, and I'm glad that they were able to talk and get back together, because from the moment I was very young, we saw that picture. We looked through those yearbooks, and we knew who Coach Kelly was. So I appreciate this honor. It is an honor because we know he loved basketball, and we didn't get to see him play, but we love hearing stories. So if anybody has any stories, we love to hear it. I'm Angela, and one of my memories of my dad, he still had his ball shoes when we were growing up. And he would put his Converse on, and they were like, this is But the things that Stephanie said are so true. We didn't grow up here. We visited here. We have family members here, but Fairview has been a dear place in our hearts because of the memories that Dad shared with us, his basketball years, but just community too. And it really meant a lot just to share that story, because I've heard the names, but to be able to see a face, and you look like your dad too, but to hear all of that together has been a blessing. And thank you. is an honor to be here.
Coach Kelly came to visit us a few years ago, and he said, Linda, come here, I have something to tell you. He said, all the boys I coached, he was one of the best players, you know, but he had the best character. That's why he put it. That was a sweet visit, but it wasn't too long after that he passed.
That is what tonight is all about. Big hand for Eugene back. Our next inductee is Corey Bledsoe, who is being inducted as being the 2001 Girls State Cross Country Champion. Her time in the state championship was 18:57. She finished in the top 20 3 years in cross country, and she excelled in track as well. She also excelled in basketball, which was her first love. Went on to play at the University of New Orleans and at Freed-Hardeman. We all know Ricky and Donna Bledsoe, that were her parents, that are Fairview icons. If you don't know Ricky and Donna, you're probably not from Fairview. And what a great job they did with Corey and with Drew. Drew, I won't leave you out either. But, we're honoring Corey tonight, Drew. So, I have so many things. As Corey was an 8th grade basketball player when I first started working at the middle school, and their team was incredible. And her mom was a coach, and it was really something that I remember being a young teacher and being there and seeing, and just in awe of how great these girl athletes were. Ricky Jones said Corey gave me the side eye every time I would yell at her at a race. She had such a natural talent in all things that she did. Corey, just like her parents, was a natural athlete. I've always had a great respect, love, and admiration for the Bledsoe Nutt family. Tim Lampley said Ricky Bledsoe asked me for a training guide for Corey, and she used it every day. I don't think anyone ever outworked Corey Bledsoe. So it's with a great honor that we induct Corey Bledsoe into the Fairview Hall of Fame. Corey, you want to say something? Corey is now an attorney, if you need anything. Don't give me
So first, I just want to say how thankful I am to come from a hometown that has supported and encouraged me my entire life. And also for a sport that, despite my resistance, taught me so much about life, including how to push through my mental and physical comfort zones, I guess, yeah. I'm also thankful for Ricky Jones for not quitting. As he said, I did give him the side eye. I also crowd in his office every day before every cross-country meet. So I am positive that I am the worst player or athlete that he's ever coached. So thank you for the nice things he said about me. I will try to look at you nicer from now on. They don't though. I ran cross-country for 7 years, and the last meet was 20 years ago, but I still feel like I'm reaping the benefits. The more removed I am from that last meet at the steeplechase, the more fond memories I can remember. But just all in all, I'm honored to be inducted into Fairview High's Hall of Fame. And I'm especially honored to be in this inaugural class with my mom, 2 of my uncles, 2 high school classmates, and several role models and friends. Thank you.
That's pretty incredible. It seems like this is a family reunion for Corey. That just shows how athletic of a family she comes from. Our next inductee, actually, for girls basketball, is her mom, Donna Nutt. And this may take a little bit to read all these accolades, but those who know, I had the pleasure of teaching and coaching with Donna for many years at the middle school. I think it was 11, and have known Donna all my life. She was my 7th grade math teacher, and I'm not holding her responsible for my 7 on the ACT in math, but at the same time, it is, we played trash can basketball, and I was really good at it, so I made a good grade in her class. But Donna, as a basketball player here, which I didn't know Donna at that time, but she led the state in scores. She averaged 37.5 points a game. She ended her season with an average of 37.5 points. She scored 1,095 points in her senior year, which is crazy. She holds the school record for the high scoring game. She has 57 points in one game. Coach Robinson said she's probably the finest pure shooter I've ever seen. If she was open, she could hit it, and it's as simple as that. She had quickness to go inside her baskets, and she could get a lot of her points off pure hustle, because that's what she did. Coach Martin described Donna as the greatest basketball player he's ever witnessed with his eyes. A joy and a thrill to watch. A great player and a great teammate. She made the 1975 TSSAA Girls All-Star Basketball Team. She received college offers from Tennessee Tech, Martin College, which is now Martin Methodist, Columbia State Community College, Austin Peay, Ball State, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Middle Tennessee State, Mercer, and Belmont. However, in 1975, not many schools offered athletic scholarships for women, but they wanted her on their basketball team. She received a basketball scholarship to Belmont University, where she played from 75 to 79. Jennifer Davison said, "I loved playing basketball with Donna. I always said she glided around the court and had a beautiful jump shot. But more than that, she was a great teammate and a great friend." Benita Smith said Donna, as a teammate, was always happy when others did something good. People might think she was selfish because of how many points she scored every game, but she was not. Ricky Jones said Donna had the pure best jump shot he's ever seen as well. So here, Ricky, would you like to say something?
One other thing. I think she's the only person in Fairview High history to be in Sports Illustrated.
Donna was in Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
And that is a great accomplishment. But I consider Donna a friend, a mentor, a teacher, everything I had. The last text message that I got from Donna Bledsoe, I will never forget, because I was the high school football coach at the time, and we had won a game that was really tough. We beat a county rival, and it was a simple, you're making Fairview proud. She cared about the city. She cared about these students. She cared about her heart and soul was in Fairview, and that's one of the reasons I loved her so much. So, Donna Nutt being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Corey? Andrew, I didn't mean to leave you out.
Back. So in case there was ever any doubt of who the best basketball player was in the family, I think that list of accomplishments pretty much set the record straight. So you can just add best Bledsoe to her list of accomplishments. Drew and I have heard legends about the great Donna Nutt for years, but we never actually saw her play, obviously. We scrambled this week going through her scrapbooks to try to, in an effort to put together the pieces and stories of an astonishing basketball career. But although that was fun, it wasn't really necessary. Having known her as a parent, mentor, and coach, we know what made her special. Nobody worked harder than Donna. She gave and expected 100% effort all the time. She strived to max out her abilities and to be her very best. This made her a great basketball player, and it also made her a great teammate, and later putting our mom, Donna, in the inaugural Hall of Fame class. I'm sad she's not here to accept this well-deserved award and hear the praise her accolades, but I know she felt love by the Fairview community, and I know she loved it back. Thank you.
Corey did see Donna play because when she was in 8th grade, Donna and me and some other teachers beat them in the faculty versus students. And I hate to bring that up, but I think we won by like 12 points. So, I think Donna had the 12 points. So. Anyway, that was a long time ago, Corey. I'm sorry. We'll move it right along. The next inductee is number 42, Danny Greer, being inducted for football. Personally, I was in 7th grade when Danny was running all up and down the field over to Rec Center, and he was everything a 4'7", 87-pound 7th grader would want as a hero. So I remember going to all his games and absolutely electrifying watching that team play. But Danny's accolades are pretty impressive too. He was 1979 All-Mid-State Player of the Year. I don't know how many of you know about football, but back then there were 9 classes and 9 state champions. It was really tough to get Mid-State Player of the Year, and Danny Greer did that. He was also first team All-State when there was only one All-State team. His senior year stats, 22 rushing touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns. Total yards that he had, 2,625 yards. He had 1,713 rushing, 338 receiving, and 575 returning kicks. I think it calculates about 20 miles, Danny. That was a lot of running. Ricky Jones said one of the best all-time football players that has ever played here, and he created a foundation for the tradition of Fairview football that was to come. And I remember many lean years. One of the reasons that 79 team and Danny stand out so much is because it was such a special year in 79. I can remember that more vividly than almost any other year that I was in school. And Danny Greer is one of those reasons. If you could think about someone gliding, like almost not touching the ground with their feet, watching him run the football was, I'm in 7th grade, my attention span was a minute and a half, and I was watching him every time they handed him the ball. And when he didn't hand him the ball, I complained. So I was already into that role. But Danny Greer did some amazing things on the football field, but Danny Greer is also a great person. And I want to congratulate him and soak it in, Danny, being inducted into the first Hall of Fame. I can't think of anyone more deserving. So congratulations.
Big honor because we were a team. We're like brothers. We played together many years. Those couple of years, it just all came together. And one of the reasons I ran so good is because most of those guys knocked everybody down, and I didn't have to get hit. So that was pretty comforting. The hardest hit I ever got was Owen Jones congratulating me on tackling the quarterback. I said, smacked my helmet up, looked like a little hole. So, but this team started setting records, and we just became more. And Fairview's in all our hearts, and hopefully we're all in each other's. And it's a great honor. Thank you.
Ask Danny to stay, and all the players that are here from the 79 team will come and join him and just line up on the stage. That would be all. 1979 football season. We're going to ask y'all to run a couple of your favorite plays, and Coach Campbell's not here. Is Coach Campbell? Coach Campbell was here yesterday, and I told him to bring his guitar and sing Wildfire. And those of you that don't know, and we'll start now with the 79 football team as they walk up. But Coach Campbell was a different type of coach. The singing football coach is what Ralph Emery called him. He sang Wildfire at so many pep rallies that it was the only song I knew when I was a kid. I could sing it in the bathtub because we didn't have a shower. But I used to sing Wildfire, and I thought I was Ronnie Campbell. And it was really bad. But Ronnie Campbell and just the whole coaching staff that was with this team and these players. John Bledsoe was just telling me all he had to do was hand the ball off. He didn't have to do, but they had a great line, a great defense, and a great. I know how to great everything. It was amazing watching you guys play, and I could tell and listening to Danny talk that that's one of the things. Like if you want a good team, find a bunch of guys that'll go to war together and fight with each other. That's going to be a good team, and I think you guys had each other's backs like that. Let's talk about the 79 football team. 11-1 record to this day, still the best record of any football team at Fairview High School. District and region champs. Assistant coach Jerry Christopher said that the team was fantastic, special, and they worked together for 3 years. They'd grown together in that time, and that's why they had become so good. So it wasn't just natural talent because Danny ran a 3.9. But it was because of all of the hard work that they put in. Head coach Ronnie Campbell said that after the season-ending loss, he said, you gave your very best, and we're all proud as the devil of you. And that was not the coaching staff. He was talking about the entire city and community of Fairview. And these are the guys that legends are made of because it's a 1979 team, and I've been a coach here, and I've had some great teams. I don't think any team in my mind will ever be better than these guys here, no matter what the record. Now, if I win a state championship, I may change my mind. But until that happens, these guys will be cheering. So I know you will, because you guys are all about Fairview too. So it's with a great honor that I introduce not just them, but all the 79 team that's not here. I wanted a big round of applause for all of them. You guys, I have to do something. I just want to know I want you to come up and say 42 Danny Greer running back. Just give me the intro, I want to put you on the jumbotron, you coming through. I just want to know position and what you did. I just think that'd be cool. Y'all want to see that? So just come up and say 42 Danny Greer running back. Just walk on off. No. I want to hear you. It's kind of a video you can do. All right, here we go.
Danny Greer, number 42, running back, Fairview High School.
Joey Thornton, number 63, defensive end.
Kelvin Sullivan, number 71, offensive and defensive lineman.
Number 34, Danny Davis, running back.
John Bledsoe, number 13, quarterback.
John Trainer, number 75,
I tell you this, Danny Davis is one of the best blocking running backs I've ever seen in my life. He cleared whatever was left, it wasn't knocked down, didn't he? He cleared the rest of them out, didn't he? I'm going to tell you, I used to see that, and I wrote Danny's bus, so I got to talk to him about it on there. I was a little bouncy kid all over him, and he was like, yeah, we're doing good. The 79 football team will always be a special place in my heart for you guys. When I was coming up, one of the reasons I got into teaching was because of Ricky Jones, and the reason I got into coaching was because of you guys. I just thought how cool it would be to be a part, and I really was a terrible football player, so that helped me out. Now I'm just a bad football coach, but at least I get to be a part of it. So I love all you guys, and congratulations on in the inaugural Hall of Fame. The next person we'd like to honor tonight is being inducted for being the 1991 state champion for the high jump, Troy Sands. The accolades I have for Troy, he jumped 6'6" to win the state, which if you don't know, try to jump, that's really high. Like, I'm not sure that I can even hold my arms up and jump and be that high. So he finished runner-up in 1998, is that right? No, 1990. He practiced most of the time before and after meets because we didn't even have a high jump in at the school. Now, if you can win the state in an event that you don't even get to practice on, that's pretty impressive to me. Tim Lampley said with proper facilities, Troy could have won a national championship and not just a state championship. Troy also played multiple sports in high school. He's also, a lot of people don't know, but he's a great thespian as well. If you haven't seen Troy's acting skills, he has a lot of them. And he makes a really good cup of coffee. If you haven't, oh, is that her? She makes the coffee? He serves a really mean cup of coffee. The Jigo Java, we got to put a plug in for Jigo Java. Got to get it with him. No, Troy is just a great guy. His family's from Fairview, Marist family. They are great people in the community. And I'm honored that Troy gets to be inducted into this as the first in the inaugural class. So a big hand for Troy Sands.
I just want to say thank you. This is such an honor, obviously, to be amongst all these guys. Actually, my brother-in-law, Tamara's brother, was on the 79 team too, so got family in this inaugural group. It's just such an honor to be here. I've been in this community since 1988, so 35 years now, as of September, actually right now, 35 years. And so it's an honor to be a part of this community. We're obviously still a huge part of this community, my wife and family, and half these people are related, obviously. So it is such a great honor. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much.
I just want y'all to know that Troy did that mic thing up just to let y'all know how short I am. Not only did he push it way up, Troy rushed against me in flag football and used to smack me around a lot, so he's probably still got some. Those were the good old days, though. Troy, congratulations. I'm happy for you. The next person is probably the most special to me personally because he's my nephew. He is being inducted into the Fairview High School Hall of Fame for being the 2004 state champion of wrestling, heavyweight division. Our first ever state wrestling champion. We have had several since then and won a team state championship. So it's really built the program, and Joe helped lay that foundation with the 7 other guys that were on the team then. I was assistant coach for that team. The head coach was John Jansen. And one of the things, I'm going to go through his accolades and then I'll say some things about that. And John did a great job. But Joe wrestled in the heavyweight division. He had previously only wrestled 1 year. He was an exceptional football star. He blocked for Aaron Cochran, who set all kind of records here. Joe went on to play football in college. He went to Iowa Central for 2 years at a JUCO college and did so well that he got a ride to UTC. He played for UT Chattanooga in his last 2 years. Joe also has coached football. He has done a lot of things in the community. He loves the Yellow Jackets. I know he loves his classmates and the people he graduated with. So, 2 things. Joe won when Joe had to beat a guy to get to the state championship from Greenville that had never lost a wrestling match. He looks like Brock Lesnar, if you know who Brock Lesnar is. And I remember when Joseph beat him, everybody in the place being shocked. Like, this kid from Fairview who's never even wrestled beat this kid with muscles bulging off his neck. And Joe was a big kid, but he didn't have muscles bulging off his neck. So when Joe beat him, John Jansen was our coach then, and he was about 6 inches shorter than me. And he picked him up over his shoulder and ran around the mat with him. And I thought that was the most impressive thing I'd ever seen. I was like, I can't even lift him off the ground. And he's like running around the mat. But I've never seen a guy be so, if a coach, if you know how happy you are for your athletes, I remember that time because I was like thinking, man, I'm so happy for him because he's my family. But John was extremely happy for him, and he wasn't. Like, it was like a real coach-player moment. And how Joe got into wrestling is really crazy. because they got Joe to come out and just spar with the heavyweight because Joe was a big kid, and they said, we just need somebody to spar. You don't have to wrestle, just come out. So we wrestled, and the heavyweight got hurt, and he couldn't finish the season. And so they wanted Joe to wrestle, and Joe was overweight, and he couldn't wrestle either. So Joe said, I'm going to lose some weight, I'm going to do it. And ended up having a winning season after he dropped the weight. Ended up winning on his first year. Well, he went to the region and qualified for the state. He wasn't a high-ranked kid, it was his junior year. Got put out in the second round, not a big deal. But his father, Ross Hudgens, who is my brother-in-law, he said on the way back in the car from Chattanooga, he said, I'm going to win this thing next year. And Ross said, okay, win what? Like he said, I'm going to win the state championship. And he said, okay, all right, that's good. Didn't really give it much thought. And he said, when I do, I get to do something special. And he said, well, what do you want to do if you win? He said, I want a tattoo. And Ross said, okay, this kid's never wrestled. He's 1 year, he just finished 87th in the state. Okay, yeah, sure, Joe. If you win, we'll let you get a tattoo. Well, the next year, Joseph won the state. So on the way home, as they stopped in South Pittsburgh to get something to eat, Joseph said, hey, Dad, remember what you said? You said I could get a tattoo. Well, Joseph's mom didn't know about this, and she was in the car as well. And she was not very happy with Ross at the time. But, being the bad parents they were, they gave in, and Joseph got a tattoo after the state wrestling. Now, I'm not sure what's on the tattoo or what it says, and I think he's covered it up. But Joseph's first tattoo came when he won the state championship in wrestling. And I just think that's an awesome story. So a big hand for Joe Hudgens.
Well, first of all, it's a huge honor to be here. I mean, being inducted by a guy who went to MLB, Danny Greer. I mean, I blocked for one of the best running backs ever come to Fairview, but I remember Danny Greer has all the records. And confident to chase those. Danny saw a lot of them. And also be sitting next to Corey Bledsoe. I mean, Corey won it her sophomore year. I was like, man, state championship, that's awesome. I was like, I only could hope and dream that, I could accomplish something like that one day. Now I love Fairview. I haven't lived there for Fairview like 10 years now. Went over to West Palm Beach, and over in Dallas now. But I absolutely love this place. And I told friends and family, I was like, I'll be back in about 3 years. My daughter graduates high school. Come on back. Hopefully can get a house in about $600,000. It's expensive to live here. Like everybody who lives in Fairview now are probably millionaires. So, but this place is definitely dear to my heart, by all means. Whenever wrestling started off, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I was like, okay, well, I was playing basketball before Coach Hughes actually, over to the Falcons, and came down to watch the Jackets play. Jackets were very good, so I was like, all right, well, let me go watch some wrestling. I said, all right, WWE. Walked in, there's no ring. There's no guys bouncing off. There's no 3 pins. It's kind of different. But decided to get into it later on. So I focused on football for a couple of years, and then got into wrestling. And what Coach Hughes didn't tell you, he was the head coach the junior year, and then the senior year he sat down to be assistant. And if you ever talk to Chris, he's pretty persuasive. I feel like to wrestle, you have to be a little bit messed up in the head a little bit. It's not fun. It's probably as much fun as like running cross country. It's not fun. You literally run like 2 miles before practice, and then you go practice. Like, man, this is rough. But we stuck it out and had some fun. As Chris said, we had about 7 guys on our team. I think there's 12, 13 weight classes. So we lost a lot of matches, a lot of team matches, but our 7 guys were some tough guys, and ended up winning about the 7 matches. But it's definitely a true honor to be here. We recognize everybody here, and I just want to say thank you again for having me, and being able to stand next to some of these great people in Fairview.
words. I know all 8 of the wrestlers we had. We had 8 total wrestlers, but one was not very good and he lost every match. But the other 7 won, and it was really frustrating for the team because they won the match, but they didn't feel good about it. Because we won our 7 and they got all the forfeits, and it kind of propelled people to start wrestling. It was a really good thing. But one of the things about tonight I want to say before I do this next one is how special it is for Corey and Joe to be able to go in together, for Corey to be able to go in with her mom, for us to be able to go, like, this is, like, to me, this is such a great night and something that's needed to happen for a long time. Because we're going to have other classes that come in, but there'll never be another inaugural first class. And we could choose, the committee could have chose from anyone in the history of the school. And for you guys to be here, it's just a really special honor. The next inductee for girls soccer is Olivia Walter. Olivia was an all-state selection by the Tennessee Athletic Coaches, TACA, in 2006, all-state selection by the Associated Press in 2006, the Tennessee Sports Writers Association, all-state soccer player, all-district, all 4 years of high school. So as a freshman, she was all-district. She was named to the all-tournament team in 2005 and 2006. She was a team captain for 4 years. As a freshman, she was a captain of the soccer team. She earned FHS Women's Soccer Team's MVP award as a sophomore, junior, and a senior. She holds a school record with 39 saves in 1 game. She held the team to 2 district championship titles as a junior and a senior, and earning a regional semifinalist showing in 2006, losing to Spring Hill on penalty kicks at the very end. She's a member of Butler's women's soccer team for 4 years, so she played college soccer at Butler for 4 years as well. If you talk about one of the best soccer players, probably the best girls soccer player to ever play here, most people will tell you it was Olivia Walter. So with a big hand for Olivia Walter to be in there.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm probably gonna talk fast so I don't cry. Because one thing, I made sure that people that knew me as an athlete at Fairview knew that I was not gonna cry in front of them. I definitely took a licking and kept ticking. Many concussions. It's okay. I'm fine now. But one thing that I really loved about being at Fairview is I've always had friends and people that were going to get me through it. I breathed soccer during my time here, and I can't get through this without thanking my family, first of all. My sister, my big little sister, who taught me that being a goalkeeper was super cool. And my middle sister, who made me super competitive. She played for Ricky Bledsoe basketball. And my mom, who tried to make me more human by telling me all the gossip of the soccer moms and going to every single one of my games. And then my dad, who drove me around the country for all of my soccer tournaments that I had. I couldn't thank him enough because that was super special for me. Being inducted with some of these people that I looked up to was really something special for me too. Joe, I used to watch you run with a trash bag on you and think, oh my gosh, I need to reach his level. And then it's funny because Corey, I just constantly was like, I just want to beat her in something. I couldn't do it. And then Drew, like, goodness, I remember doing a hop walk with you when we were children, and thinking, I'm gonna get more laps than him this year. Never did. It's okay. But one other thing that's really special to me is like the Bledsoe family. Tana, who coached me in basketball, and Ricky, who said, I'm not gonna watch another Walter girl tear an ACL, so you're not allowed to play basketball anymore. That made me focus on soccer, and without getting that focus, I was never going to play in college that way because I was super competitive, but I couldn't have done that without like the push that they gave me constantly. It was just really great because I could have played a lot of places in high school. I thought about maybe going to a private school because I really wanted to focus on soccer, but being a goalkeeper at Fairview, we didn't have a great back line. So I got a lot of action, which meant I got even better. And so I just really loved playing here to make me better every single day. And I just appreciate being a part of this. It's a true honor to be recognized in this experience, and having Coach Weber here, who's one of my first coaches, is just really wild and special to me. But again, thank you guys. I mean, I had Chris Hughes as a middle school PE teacher. But yes, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for this honor. I appreciate it.
I still felt like it was our kickball games in PE that propelled her into her great career. Olivia was really good at kickball, and if you hit it over the line, it was a home run. Y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember that, Corey, Joe? Anyway, all right. I didn't do a lot of teaching anyway. Donna did most of the teaching. So, congratulations, Olivia. Very good. Our next inductee is going to be inducted for baseball. So our first baseball inductee is Ben Wilshire. Ben is known, if you talk about baseball in Fairview, everybody talks about Ben Wilshire. And he was all district for 4 years. He received the top pitcher award as a freshman, MVP as a sophomore, all Williamson County player his senior year, top 3 MVP all Williamson County his senior year, the Tennessee River Industrial All-Tournament team senior year. He had an 8-2 record as a pitcher and a 1.89 ERA. He had a .320 batting record as a senior. He was all-district 9AA for his junior and senior year. Bola June said, in 2003, we played Page for a spot in the regionals. The game was played at Greer Stadium. Ben Wilshire hit a homer off the top of the guitar that I still believe is the furthest ball I've ever seen hit at Greer Stadium. Curtis Putnam said, Ben was the best all-around player to ever play baseball at Fairview High School. Not only was he an outstanding pitcher, winning 18 games in his career and recording 4 saves, striking out 200 batters, but he was also a great hitter, averaging .325 for his career. He is the only Fairview High School player to play at an NCAA Division I school, played at Austin Peay University, was drafted into the Major League Baseball in 2007 by the San Francisco Giants. He played for 3 seasons in their minor league ball system. Ben is also married into a great family in Fairview, and that has really helped that they have great children, and they are just a part of our community. And I think a lot of Ben. I'm not as close to Ben as I am, but Ben is a great person, and he was a super baseball player, as Coach Putnam said, because Coach Putnam coached for 74 years. He's the best player through. So a big hand for Ben Wilshire. Blake said Ben Wilshire single-handedly beat Brentwood Academy, which was our arch nemesis back when we were all.
Let's see, where do I start? Been so many good talkers too, not just athletes, but first and foremost, the family that's back there with me. I appreciate each and every one of them getting me to my games and pretty much teaching me how to throw a baseball. I remember my dad, he taught me the curveball, and my stepdad, he taught me the mentality part of baseball. And I kind of ran with that. And Alex, my brother, we spent countless hours down by a creek with gravel from the road we grew up on and a tobacco stick, which is probably why I hit so well. It's just, we didn't miss a day or a minute to be down there hitting runs with a dang tobacco stick. So I appreciate all that and always being behind me and just always being there for me. And like I said, every game I'm a product of everybody, and I'm a name and a product of everybody in here that's ever been behind me and believed in me. And because of y'all, I got to live half of my dream, or 2/3 of it. I think the other third would have been fulfilled had I actually made it to the big leagues.
but I'll take minor leagues. I think it's still pretty good, impressive run at the game of baseball and have a career in it for as long as I did. And I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to have been a part of Fairview High School. I mean, there's so many heads under this roof that were just such a part of everything I did here, from Coach Platinum being my neighbor, Daniel Lampley being my basketball coach. I mean, Coach Hughes, he's just a cool guy. I just always liked him. He has a good, he has a good character about him, a good charisma, you know, so I always liked seeing him. He always made me smile. I always meant to shake his hand when I was there. My man Chris Butler, he was our third baseman, and you know, I was a ground ball guy, kind of a sinker, 88 to 90 sinker, kind of get a lot of ground balls, and my ERA probably would have been what it was without that cat. He had a good mitt and a good nose from over there, and it was fun to play with him. I don't know how much y'all know about that team on my senior year, but I'm not so sure that we had the best athleticism to have gotten as far as we did, but we were kind of like the football team that's here tonight. We had an outstanding team of guys that stuck together, and man, we were all dogged in, and we never gave up, and there was never a last inning for us until it was over. And, just saying that, I kind of feel like all my coaches here, everybody's always been behind me. There was never a last inning for me with them. I'm just very thankful and appreciative of all y'all. Honored to receive this here for Fairview. So thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Every time Principal Butler played football with Joseph and baseball with Ben, so that's a pretty big thing. And Daniel actually got to coach me for a year too, Ben. I'm sure it wasn't as enjoyable for him as it was Curtis coaching you, but it was. I was on the team. I always said Ricky Jones kept me on the 8th grade basketball team, and I wasn't very good. So, Ben, I'm going to let our baseball coach know tobacco sticks and rocks. That's what we need to do. So, our training just fell off because if we went back to old school training, we'll hit the ball better.
I did forget to mention that your new high school baseball coach,
Coach Duchesne? Yep.
he caught the bullpens during off-season for Creekwood.
Wow. Okay, there you go. It all ties together. So does he know about the tobacco sticks in the ground? I'm going to let him know. Our baseball team's about to get better. Okay. Our next inductee, really love this lady. She's been inducted for girls softball, Sally Meadows, which is, Sally graduated in '85 with me and Jason Kimball and some of the coolest people to ever have be at Fairview High School. But they were not the best athletes. In '85, the girls' team was way better than our team was, Jason. But Sally has been inducted as a girls' softball. So we'll go through '85 because I remember Sally being such a good basketball player, softball player. Sally was the best athlete in our class. She was the 1985 the Williamson County MVP in softball. That's impressive for the whole county. She played.
That's right, 5 years.
Sally, did you fail? She played, are you older than me? She played 5 years at second base and shortstop.
She played our 8th grade year varsity ball.
Oh, that's right, because we were at the rec.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. That's great. Sally, you played 5 years at shortstop and second base. That was a lot. I'm glad you didn't fail. I'm so sorry, Sally.
Oh my gosh.
She had 34 career home runs. That's probably still pretty close to the best ever. So 34 career home runs. She was all district 3 times, played on 5 district championship teams and 2 region championship teams. Tim Lampley said he always remembered that his dad would say, "Let's go watch Sally play some softball." Ricky Jones said Sally was one of the best, if not the best, to ever play softball at Fairview High School. I remember one game when she was intentionally walked while the bases were loaded in a close game, just so she didn't get to bat. That speaks volumes right there. And most of you that know Sally, she's been in this community for a long time, but she is as good of a lady as she was a softball and basketball player, and I absolutely love her. So congratulations to Sally Meadows for being Sally, I'm gonna say one more thing, it's gonna be embarrassing, but I'm fighting it right now. No, Stephanie would say, don't say that, don't say that. I can hear it in my head. But in 8th grade, we went to a school dance, and Sally danced with me, and I was 4'6", and she was 6 foot, and it looked really weird. I think she just felt sorry for me. I really do. Like, I was like, Sally, like,
This is a true honor, and I want to say thank you, and a special thanks to Ricky Jones and Don Bledsoe for pushing me to be the very best that I could be, and for putting up with me. Again, this is a true honor, and I just want to say thank you. Those were some of my best memories in life, was playing ball in. Thank you.
Jason, you're overachieving right now, sir. Super proud. Big hand for Sally one more time. She's great. And last but not least at all, and I remember being inducted for the 3,200 meter state champion, Tim Lampley. I can remember Tim's picture being in that hallway for so long. The 4 pictures of Corey and Joseph and Tim and Troy. Like, we're in that hallway in there forever. And I don't know where those pictures are now, but I remember we went through. I imagine we would know where they were, what would have been the principal. But I remember Timmy being in there forever, and you other 3 too. And it was just like every day I would see you guys, like even when you weren't here. And I can remember seeing Tim, and I always thought of you, Daniel. I always did. I was like, that's Daniel Lampley's son right there that coached me in baseball and was the previous great ISS instructor that I'm really following in your footsteps and trying to do what I can. But Tim was a great athlete, 3,200 meter state champion. He was so good at track. He was the 1988 state champion in the 3,200 meters. He was the region champion in the 3,200 meters. He had a record of 9 minutes and 31 seconds in the state that stood for 20 plus years. So he is not only fast, he was so fast that he held that record for 20 years after he was done, which is super impressive. In 1987, Tito Slay State Cross Country, he was runner-up. He broke the state record and still lost by a very small margin. He in 1987 AAU Southeast Region called Cross Country Champion. 1987 AAU National Cross Country Championship. He received 3rd place. He also was a TAC Southeast Region Champion in the 1,600 meters. 3 times he was TSSAA All-State for Cross Country, 85, 86, and 87. And 3 times he was the TSSAA All-State Track Champion, 86, 87, 88. So Ricky Jones said Tim was Fairview's first state champion in any sport, and that can never be taken away from Tim Lampley. When we talk about all the state champions we have, he will always be first, and I think that's so cool. He made Ricky and the entire community extremely proud. It was so big for someone to Fairview to win a state championship in any sport that they had about 50 supporters from Fairview at the meet. 50 people at a track meet, a cross-country meet from Fairview, which was a lot of people. And Tim told Ricky that when he got back to school and he walked in, and everyone in the cafeteria clapped for him, that it was very humbling and it was really exciting that a kid from Fairview had beat a runner from Brentwood Academy. And that was the nemesis back in the day. He used to stomp us in football and everything else. But Tim being able to beat that kid from Brentwood Academy and being able to be our first state champion, I think, paved the way for all the other people to know, hey, we can do it. Like, this is not little Fairview anymore. Now we're going to compete on that level. Thus we have Troy, thus we have Corey, thus we have Joseph, thus we have all of the people in this room. And so, without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Tim Lampley into the inaugural Hall of Fame at Fairview High School. You're not coming through, Daniel? Okay. Okay.
lost a little in translation if he wasn't doing it. So, the revised version is, it's killing me I can't be with you tonight. Unfortunately, the two biggest things I've won in my life are in conflict with each other this weekend. I mentioned to Mr. Jones earlier that winning Fairview's first state championship in 1988 was the biggest and most significant accomplishment of my lifetime. So I hate not being with you tonight. The other thing he's doing tonight is he's playing for a golf championship of the course. I forget what the name of it is because they changed it. It used to be Forest Crossing. The state track meet was May 13th, 1988. Much to their anguish, I made my kids watch the video of the race every year on the anniversary. I remember every moment of that race like it was yesterday. And even though it was 35 years ago, I doubt there's been a day that's gone by since then that I haven't thought about that day. It was a moment in time that defines so much of who I am. It's an honor to be included in this particular class. In talking to the group last night, I realized every one of the inductees have a few things in common. First, the pride of wearing Fairview on our jersey and representing the best of our community. Second, I know for a fact each and every inductee tonight had unbelievable community support. And of course, each of the inductees leaves a legacy of excellence for Fairview that were the building blocks of the strong athletic programs and community spirit Fairview now enjoys. Without question, Fairview is a special place. So on behalf of each inductee, I would like to thank the Booster Club for beginning the Hall of Fame and including us in the inaugural class. It's a tremendous honor to be remembered, but more importantly, the value of a Hall of Fame is showing future generations what can be. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Tim at the football game last night, and he is in really good shape for his age, so made me feel really bad about myself afterwards. But Tim looks great, and he's still doing things in golfing, and it was a big thing today for him. I know he hated not being here. So that concludes our ceremony and all of our inductees. I'm so happy. One last time, if you were
And Chris, the Hall of Fame committee asked them to stand up.
Hall of Fame committee, if you're on that committee, stand up. Wyatt Jones, you're already standing. Who else was on that committee? Benita, good. You'll look at those people. Gail Weber, Carl, thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Those are the people on the committee, so big hand for them. They have a tough job. And then the last thing I want to do, because I'm extremely proud of you, but if you're not proud of yourself, I mean, this is a badge that you can wear with honor, and we're going to have it here forever. You will always be, you're going to be immortalized as a Fairview High School legend. So if you were one of the inductees tonight, would you please just stand up right now? If you were a family member of the inductee that wasn't here. Hey, one last big hand for all of these guys and ladies. Thank you guys. Congratulations. And you have a safe drive home. God bless. And we'll see y'all hopefully down the road. Thank you for coming. If you'd like to take pictures.